crack open a White Claw because it is time for one of my favorite topics, which is travel. Now, this is something that I love to do. It is my passion, but it can cost a lot of money. So I have to find ways to be creative with it and find a way to travel the places I want to go, do the things I want to do without breaking the budget. One of my favorite ways to save money on travel is to leverage credit cards that have miles and points that you redeem for purchases and dollars spent. This can be pretty dangerous if you already have credit card debt or you're susceptible to using credit cards a lot and carrying a balance. I have not encountered a single worthy travel credit card that has a competitive interest rate. So I would not recommend carrying a balance on these credit cards. It tends to be a little bit higher and it will end up costing you more. The second tip that I have is to research what credit cards you want to use for travel and then monitor for sign-up bonuses. That's really how I accumulated so many points so quickly, was because they offer 30, 40, 50, and in one case 100,000 miles just for signing up and meeting a couple other criteria. That leads me to my third point. You want to be sure that when you're researching these cards, you're also reading the terms and conditions. To get that welcome bonus sign up, you need to usually spend a certain amount of money by a certain date, otherwise you don't get it. Also, if you've had that particular card before, usually they blacklist you for a certain amount of time before you can sign up for it again and get the bonus. I've seen before it was about like 18 or 24 months before I could do it again. The next tip that I have is to pay all bills you can using that credit card. That always helped me reach that minimum spending requirement by the requested time and get more miles. So you're still trying to get that minimum, but you're getting points for each dollar you spend, sometimes 2 points or 3 points, depending on the different categories they have. So things that I would pay would be my internet bill, my streaming services. Sometimes I paid my electric, but it had an extra fee on it to use a credit card. So I only did it when it was over a certain amount in order to make it worth it. Using the card for things that you would buy already is exactly what you need to do. It is not an excuse to buy more stuff so that you could go to Paris. The last tip I have may not be for everyone. It depends on your credit score and your credit profile, because you really want to be careful of opening up too many credit cards and closing them out. In my case, it was okay. So I always closed out this credit card before the annual fee hit. Sometimes I would pay the annual fee once, but I'm usually looking for cards that waive it the first year. The first time that I cashed in credit card miles for a flight was for my trip to Buenos Aires, Argentina. And it was incredible. By far one of my favorite countries that I've been to. Completely surprised me. And thanks to shopping for good deals, staying in an Airbnb instead of an expensive hotel, and of course, using my American Airlines miles for the flight, a week-and-a-half long trip was cheaper than a 3-day weekend in Disneyland. The most adventurous trip that I've been on is when I cashed in my American Airlines points for a flight to Iceland. I went solo. It was terrifying. It was cold, but it was incredible. Obviously, some great experience hooked me on using credit cards, so then I had to teach my mom about it. We went on an epic trip to Australia and New Zealand, and I taught her how to use a Hyatt credit card to redeem for 2 free nights in the Park Hyatt Hotel right across from the Opera House. I think it was normally about like $800 a night or $1,600 for the whole stay, and we stayed for $0. Of course, We read the terms and conditions on that card. We knew what we had to spend on it in order to get the bonus. And we didn't carry a balance, so we didn't have to pay any interest. And the result was an epic mother-daughter vacation. If there's any competition for my favorite country in the world against Argentina, it would be Morocco. I used my Chase Sapphire credit card and the 100,000 bonus miles that I got for signing up towards flights there. It was absolutely breathtaking. So much different scenery. The people were amazing. I cannot say enough things about it. My trip to Morocco was a solo trip and it was soul-changing. Now, even as I'm remodeling my current house, I'm trying to put in a Moroccan flair for the style because that's how much it moved me, and it was absolutely incredible and made possible by credit card points. My favorite resource for finding affordable travel is Google Flights. I always like going here and plugging in my destination and my dates. I can look at the monthly calendar to see if there are different days I can travel that would be significantly cheaper. I love booking that way. My favorite feature of Google Flights though is the price tracker. I'll plug in my destination and the dates, set that alert, and it will email me every time the price changes. I used this when I was planning a trip with one of my best friends to Tokyo. We set that alert, we got an email that the price had decreased to about $500 per person. 500 bucks for Tokyo? Are you kidding me? Heck yes. We could not sign up fast enough. If we didn't plan ahead, if we didn't research, if we didn't set that alert, if we looked at booking the month before, the tickets to Tokyo were over $1,600 more. That's insane. So there's a lot to be said with knowing what you want in advance, planning, and tracking the prices. Obviously, with credit cards, do your research, figure out what's best, look at the impacts specifically for you. But these are some of the things that I've done and have incredible success with. It's really allowed me to see the world and do it in style sometimes. Comment below where you would like to travel if you didn't have to pay for the flight. Also, subscribe to this channel because I plan on going all over the world, and I'm happy to make videos and share with you how I'm able to do so.